The Apple Watch Ultra 3 actually surprised me. After wearing the Series 10 for a year, I didn't expect the Ultra 3 to feel this different, but it does. Hi everyone and welcome to Joe Reviews. Today I'm diving into the Apple Watch Ultra 3, what's new, what's overrated, and what stood out to me when I ran my last marathon with it. So, for starters, what's all new with the Ultra 3? A few of the top new features include slightly larger screen with wide-angle display, longer 42-hour rated battery life, 5G capability, satellite connectivity, hypertension notifications, and more. Do all these new features make it worth upgrading to? We'll get into that, what I noticed about it on my last marathon, and much more. But first, the unboxing. Apple continues to be better than anyone else at making the unboxing feel like a Christmas morning or birthday experience. The Ultra 3 comes in a cardboard box that easily unfolds. Inside has this mountain and ocean print that really ties into the adventure side of the Apple Watch Ultra 3. There's a quick start guide as you open the box that explains the buttons, speakers, and some of the other features. Again, sticking with the adventure theme, on the inside packaging is coordinates to Apple Park. The braided charging cable is 1 meter long, just like the other Apple Watch chargers. To the left is the watch. I went with the black titanium finish, which I think looks really sleek. For the watch band, I went with the ocean band in Anchor Blue. I'll talk a bit more about this band and some pain points I found with it. I like the contrast between the black titanium and the blue band. Plus, with a couple pops of orange on the watch, I think this model looks really good. I feel like this watch transitions nicely from using during an intense workout to wearing out at a nice restaurant. One of the first things I wanted to discuss about the new Apple Watch Ultra 3 is the screen. The Ultra 3 now features LTPO3 technology, which was first introduced on the Series 10 last year. Benefits of this include better energy efficiency and a higher refresh rate. This may sound like a small update, but it's kind of a big deal. What this means is the Ultra 3 gets a better battery life, and the screen now refreshes when in always-on mode, from once a minute to now once a second. This feature is great for workouts, as you can see each second tick by without having to move your wrist if you're counting down the seconds for a workout set. It also works great for timers, a stopwatch, and is incorporated into 20 more watch faces. While it's nice to see the Ultra 3 now has LTPO3, it's also surprising that it didn't have this feature last year already, as it's the most premium watch, but lacked the most premium features. Moving on, the display itself grew slightly over the Ultra 2 by about 5%, but it's enough to now make it larger than the regular Series 11 watch. By making the bezels 24% thinner, Apple was able to squeeze in a larger display area into the same size casing. It does make viewing the watch a bit easier, especially watch faces that have a lot of complications, which this leads into the other update to this watch, the wider viewing angle. Now the Ultra 3 allows for brighter viewing from an angle, just like last year's Series 10. Now for one of the most asked about features, battery life. Rated battery life jumps to 42 hours versus the previous version's 36, and still a lot better than the Series 11 rated 24 hours. The Ultra 3 can get up to 72 hours of battery life when in low power mode. The battery life has been a standout feature to me compared to my Series 10, where before at the end of the day, I'd have about 30% battery life remaining. Now with the Ultra 3, it's typically more than double that, usually around 65%. The improved battery life was one of the main reasons for upgrading to the Ultra 3. As a runner who has spent the last year training for marathons, my long runs on the weekends would drain my Series 10 battery, sometimes to the point of just a couple of percent left. I didn't like the idea of my watch dying on me before finishing a run and not being able to capture my pace and other data during the last couple miles. So it was fortunate that the Ultra 3 launched about a week before my second planned marathon. After finishing that race in about 3 hours and 44 minutes, I still had 55% battery life remaining. I was happy with my results, but I was surprised I didn't have more battery life remaining. Apple advertises 14 hours of outdoor workout with full GPS and heart rate readings. With 55% remaining of about 4 hours of use, that would theoretically give me just a little over 8 hours of battery life for a workout, which in 99.9% of the cases I use the watch for, it will be totally fine. But if I were to get in the world of Ironman training, it could be an issue. I may have had worse than advertised results, as I had my earbuds connected via Bluetooth, listening to music pretty much the whole time, and was receiving text messages during the race. The charging also improved on the Ultra 3. Now you can charge the Ultra 3 to 80% in 45 minutes versus 1 hour for the Ultra 2. Also, the Ultra 3 can get up to 12 hours of use on a 15-minute charge versus 8 hours for the Series 11. Battery life is still lacking compared to some other smartwatches on the market like Garmin and Coros. For the most part, it's really been a non-issue for me. I still charge the watch every day between 30 and 60 minutes, but there have been times I've skipped days for charging and have just been fine. Moving on to another new feature this year for the Ultra 3 is 5G connectivity, finally upgrading from LTE. However, what Apple really doesn't advertise is that this is 5G RedCap. It's slightly different from regular 5G for smartphones, as 5G RedCap is designed for wearables that don't typically need as much speed as smartphones. Since I'm really only using the cellular network to listen to music or audiobooks and occasionally send and receive text messages, the upgraded speed hasn't really been something I've noticed. It works fine, but if you're looking to upgrade to the Ultra because it can connect to 5G, I don't think there's enough of a difference for that to really be a reason. Also new this year is satellite connectivity. If you're planning on exploring an area off the grid and need to send a message to family and friends, you can send one via satellite connection. I've tried the demo of this and it worked out pretty well. My watch told me I had to move my wrist to the left to connect to a satellite. It connected after about 30 seconds, which Apple says is normal. I think this is a great feature for people that plan on going places where service is limited. You can share your location or contact emergency services. However, for this feature to work, there were a couple interesting things in the fine print. First off, satellite connection is free for 2 years after activation of the Apple Watch Ultra 3. Second, you need clear line of sight to the sky. If you're under minimal tree coverage, it might take around a minute to connect to a satellite. If you're under heavy tree coverage or surrounded by obstructions like mountains or tall buildings, then you might not be able to connect at all. Third, if your watch is wet, it might not connect to satellites. And finally, your paired iPhone must be on and connected to Wi-Fi or a cellular network. So if you're planning on going off the grid and you take your iPhone with, and that has no service, then you can't connect via satellite. Now, if you have an iPhone with the ability to connect to satellite, then you can just use that. There were a few other caveats about satellite connection via Apple Watch, such as making sure iMessage is turned on, but that's about it. I don't see this being a feature that I'll really be using, as there's too many things that would need to happen in order for it to be useful to me, but I think it's great Apple included this in case a time arises when someone really needs it. Another new feature this year is hypertension notifications. Apple says hypertension affects up to 1.3 billion people annually and often goes undiagnosed. How this feature works is the optical heart sensor analyzes how a user's blood vessels respond to the beats of the heart. They've developed an algorithm that analyzes this data over 30-day periods. If the watch detects consistent signs of hypertension, it will alert you. Apple says this feature is expected to alert over 1 million people with undiagnosed hypertension within the first year. It's easy to set up this feature. Just go to your watch app and under health categories, there's a heart section. Just scroll to hypertension notifications and answer a few questions. I could see this feature benefiting a lot of people who may haven't had a checkup in a while, and encourage people to visit their doctor if they get a notification and course correct on their health before something serious happens. This is my first time owning an Apple Watch Ultra, and there were a few things I wanted to share as someone who always had the regular Apple Watch. One of the things I was worried about is if it was going to feel heavier and just overall larger than my Series 10. Since I wear my watch about 23 hours a day, I thought for sure the size would be glaringly obvious after a couple hours of wear. Looking at the specs, the Ultra 3 is nearly 25% thicker and 70% heavier than the Series 10. Despite this, I've noticed the thickness more than the weight when compared to my Series 10. The Ultra 3 tends to get stuck on my long sleeve items like coats and shirts, but this has only been a small issue. As for the weight, I can't say I've noticed a difference at all, probably because I'm so strong. Okay, back to reality. Other than the size difference, the display has been a standout to me. While it's roughly the same size as my previous watch, it's 50% brighter. The brightness on the Ultra 3 is 3000 nits compared to the Series 10 and 11's 2000 nits. The brightness really surprised me. It's just so much easier to read my watch. This has been more noticeable on bright sunny days. Again, going back to my last race, the larger, brighter display made reading my pace and other data just easier. The brighter screen gives the display this appearance of being clearer and details looking sharper, even though the resolution is pretty much the same. With how I use the Apple Watch Ultra, I'm putting it through its paces with my running workouts. I don't take my phone with me when I run, so I'm using the 5G network to listen to music, podcasts, and books. My long runs at the height of my training typically max out around 3 hours, where before I'd make sure to charge my Series 10 to 100% right up to the workout. Now I'm not concerned about battery life. I'll charge it the day before, wear it to bed, wake up, and go for my long run and still have plenty of battery life remaining. Apple definitely markets this watch towards runners and states it has the best GPS in a sports watch. Apple backs up this claim for GPS performance by saying it was based on route map accuracy in challenging urban environments against some of the top sports watches. When I ran the Twin Cities Marathon with it this year, it overestimated my distance by about 0.44 miles, or nearly half a mile. I was a bit surprised it was that far off. Now, there are many things that can affect GPS, such as tree coverage, buildings, and so forth, but I would have thought it would have been a bit more accurate than that. When it comes to things I don't like about the Ultra 3, there are a couple that quickly come to mind. One, I mentioned earlier, was just the overall thickness. Having used the regular Apple Watches in the past, I quickly realized this is a much thicker watch. Most of the time, my long sleeve shirts or coats will just cover it, as it's difficult to get it to go back under the sleeve when removing what I'm wearing. My other complaint, which annoys me the most, actually has nothing to do with the watch itself, but the Ocean wristband. Apple doesn't offer a lot of choices when it comes to wristbands for the Apple Watch Ultra. I wanted a band that would be good for running and could withstand sweat. As I always use the sport band for my other watches, I decided to try the Ocean band for this purpose. While I like the look, trying to put this watch on my wrist with this band is a pain. It takes more time, and I haven't been able to find a good trick to getting it on effortlessly. I've dropped my watch a few times while putting it on my wrist, which always makes my heart skip a beat. In the end, despite some flaws, I'm really happy with the updated Apple Watch Ultra 3. It offers a beautiful display that's bright and easy to read. The battery life lasts a long time, and I don't find myself concerned about it dying on me while using. The black titanium casing looks great with the blue Ocean band and orange accents. The added hypertension notifications, satellite connectivity, 5G support, and higher refresh rate are all great features worth upgrading to if you have an older Apple Watch. It keeps the same $799 price tag, but I've seen it on sale already for $699. If I had to rate the Ultra 3, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now that's it for my review. Let me know what you think of the Ultra 3. Do you think it's a good upgrade? Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you for the next review.